Hi guys, you join me in session and I'm back down at St Ives Fishery. I'm on Big Fjords, in between Big Fjords and Snake Pit at the moment. The lakes are very busy. It's a Saturday and we've had international football. England playing the last couple of weekends, but England aren't playing this weekend, so I knew it was going to be very busy. There's a reason for me turning up on a Saturday when it's very busy, and I'll go into that a little bit now. So I left home 1 o'clock in the morning to get here for first light, knowing all the anglers will already be here. I like to do this from time to time because it shows me where the most popular swims are and where the most left alone swims are. Like, I've got a fair idea of that anyway, because normally the neglected swims are the swims that are furthest walk from the car park, are the most inaccessible, muddy, hard to fish, hard to cast, them sort of swims. But I just want to confirm that when I come down on a busy period, and to be fair, swims I thought that would be quiet are quiet. But these are the swims I want to be targeting. Carp thrive on neglect and they like to be left alone. So when I arrived this morning, I spent 2 or 3 hours walking around. Yes, I'm looking for showing fish, but mainly the main reason for that is to find and confirm these quiet areas. And I've walked around all the lakes and done all that. And true to form, I walk into an area which I expect doesn't get fished an awful lot, and I spooked one out the margins, and then another one's shown later on. But 5 minutes later, one's popped its head out, and it's just confirms what I've always believed. You know, these quiet areas hold the fish. So after continuing a walk and having a look all around everywhere, not really seeing much else in the quiet areas, I decided to come back here, get in this swim, get the rods out and give it a go. Now, it might pay off, it might not, but tomorrow is Sunday and everyone's going to be packing up and going home. So when they do that, I'll have a walk round, and if the fish are in those popular areas, then I'll move. But it is an edge that will put you a lot more fish on the bank. A lot of the time, popular swims are popular because they produce a lot of fish. But that is the reason they produce a lot of fish, is because they're popular. These little swims that people leave alone for whatever reason could produce a lot more fish if fished. You can't catch fish if you're not fishing in them. It's as simple as that. But that's a little edge. It's been a long day, to be fair. I'm very tired, got up early, so I'm gonna just get everything sorted, get my head down, have an early night, get up early in the morning, watch the water. If I don't see anything or any reason to stay in this area, I'll get all the kit on the barrow and I'll be gone. It's the way I fish. I'm not a lottery type of angler. I can't sit in a swim and hope and pray that fish come along. I've got to go to them. Effort equals reward, and that's what it's all about to me. So for now, I'll give you guys a little look at the swim. But until later on, cheers guys. Right guys, just take you on a little tour of how I get to my swim. Not much headroom as you come through here to take all the kit off the barrow to get over this hump. My sort of swim this. I love these little nooks and crannies, the sort of places that are quiet a lot of the time, and the fish do
getting them. I don't like being disturbed, so this is perfect. Come to here, pretty muddy, lots of water, sort of area that puts people off. Not me. This is the sort of swim I tend to look for. Luckily, when I came into this swim this morning, I spooked one straight away from the margins, and then I saw another one show not long after. So I was in here. Let me go across now. Sunken bridge. Come across that sunken bridge. Now into swim. There's a bivvy there. Into a swim. Rods down there. That's the normal rods in the water. Get past these marginal snags. It's like there's trees in the water everywhere. It's just so carpy. Mosquitoes biting me to death. But yeah, this whole area I've got just to myself. This is in between Big Fjords and Snake Pit. One rod over there towards that big tree, and then one out in the middle where I found a little bit of a hump. Seems very clear, so you never know. And then one down this margin because I spooked one there this morning. So just come back out the water. Here's my home. Then there's a little path down here. It's not really a swim, but it's a nice little nook. I put a little bit of bait down here, so there's always a chance of stalking one. Don't wait for your brambles. I'll keep an eye on this, keep checking it, and if something turns up, we'll just drop a rod on his head in the margins, and hopefully it might just get me that bonus fish. Water, so here we are, look. Very deep margin here. So I've just got some bait just down there. And then I've got a little bit just down there as well, just so hopefully. Look at that. What a place this is. I keep saying it, but it's like the naked time forgot. Absolutely love it. This is perfect carp water in my opinion. It's got everything, including big fish. So there we are, guys. That's just a little look at my swim. I'll take you through a bit more detail about my spots and that later on. But for now, I'll sit down, chill out this evening and dream about big scaly carp. Cheers, guys. Right guys, gave you a little look at the swim earlier. Now I'm just going to take you over the spots I've chosen and why. So the first spot is tight against that big tree over there in the distance. There's a big line of trees there in the water, and the reason they're in the water there is because they're on the shallow bar or old bit of causeway between the lakes, whatever, but basically it's shallower and they're on there growing. And this time of year I'm looking for the shallow water because the fish tend to be either up in the water or in shallow water. We're in summer now, so, and I knew by casting close to there it would be a lot shallower than the surrounding area, and it is by quite a bit as well. And it's clean on top of there, where it's a little bit dirtier, a little bit more smellier weed in the deeper water. So that's perfect, and that's rod number 1. But I just looked along that tree line, I've looked at an area where I'm happy to cast to, happy to get tight, and know I've got a good chance of landing the fish, because that's the most important part. And then rod number 2 is just basically out in the middle of this area. I just kept looking and finding horrible dirty weed, and I found a little hump that seems to be a little bit shallower than the rest of the surrounding water, but it's clean. Normally the reason it's clean is because it's been fed on. So that was rod number 2. Then rod number 3, had to go down this margin. I spooked one here yesterday, so that was a bit of a no-brainer. But I've had a little look around the margin. I haven't just put a rod there and just hope for the best. I've had a little look around, and there's Canadian pondweed in the margin, full of snail, full of little tiny baby swan mussels, full of food. So an ideal area. But I've managed to find a little hole that is very, very clean, so potentially again being fed on, all surrounded by weed that is full of food. So I've just put a bait there, a little bit of bait over the top, nice little trap. So that's my 3rd spot. So that's a little look at spots I'm fishing and why I'm fishing them. Cheers guys.
Well, good morning guys. It's about mid-morning now. I've been up just before first light, watching the water. I've not really seen much. Since those couple of fish I saw yesterday when I got into the swim, it's gone very, very quiet. So I'll give it another couple of hours and I'll have gear on the barrow, get around the lake and try and find some fish. You can't catch them if they're not there, it's as simple as that. But one of the biggest edges in fishing is your eyes. Can't emphasise this enough. I see it so often. Turn up at lake at first light, it's always when I try and aim to get to a lake. It's first light and last light, the 2 major times of showing fish, especially first light. But I turn up and you go past all the bivvies, the doors are down, the guys are still in the land and nod. And I know guys work hard and they come here to relax and chill out. There's times for that, and that to me is the middle of the day. You're not expecting to see much. You can lie on your bed, have a sleep, watch a telly, do whatever you want to do. But in prime times you need to be watching the water. It's the biggest edge in carp fishing. That one show can make a difference, make your session, even make your season if it's the right fish. And that is a massive edge. Even if you're on the fish, watching them, where they're showing, tell you a story of where you need to put your hook bait. Spots within spots. There's definitely areas in swims where fish prefer to feed. And just seeing that one show and investigating why they're showing on that area could be one of the key points to unlocking the lake. And you put these key points together and hard lakes can become easier. Not necessarily easy, can be easy at times, but easier. And you get all these key points together, stick them all together, build that picture, and that gives you the key to unlock any lake. These points will come in time, but there are shortcuts to these points if you do things right. And that is one of the major things, your eyes. You can't buy that. You know, time spent watching the water, seldom wasted. I know I'm waffling on a little bit, but these tips really do put you extra fish on the bank. I know I'm giving away a lot of my tips and edges, but if I can help you guys put extra fish on the bank, I will. It's the kind of angler I am. I've always been willing to help people. People ask, I'll always give my advice, my best opinion. Like, it's not gospel, you know, it's just my opinion. And it has cost me a lot of fish in the past, but who cares? It's about enjoying it. And I'm just as happy to see other anglers catch fish as myself. You know, putting things out, giving people tips, areas. You get to areas that are normally quiet and all of a sudden they got anglers in, but that don't bother me. It's about enjoying it and seeing others enjoy it as well. In the day, it's a hobby. I love it. I want other people to love it and enjoy it. If I can help them along the way, I will do. But for now, it's enough of me waffling on. And get the kit sorted soon, and get round this lake, try and find some fish. Cheers, guys. Hi guys, as you can see, I've had a move. Nothing was really happening in that swim over on Big Fjords. After a couple of fish I saw just before I moved in there yesterday, I saw no more activity, no more shows, no bubbling, nothing. There was nothing this morning that led me to believe that fish were even still in the area. So I had no choice to get the kit all packed up, back on the barrow, and get round and see if I could try and find some fish. So I spent 2 or 3 hours this morning looking around big fjords, little fjords, snake pit, and meadow. Never really saw anything really, so I had to go on what I know, where I believe the fish will be in these weather conditions. And after a gut feeling that I thought they might be over this side of the lake, complete opposite side of the lake to where I was. I mean, the wind's now hacking in here. It's northeasterly, but it's warm. And knowing fish on big pits, they do like to follow the wind. So that was my first port of call. And it just felt right. When I got over here, gut feeling, always follow your gut. It doesn't always pay off, but a lot of the time it does. It's a gut feeling that they were here. I'm not seeing anything yet, but hopefully the move will pay off. It was a mammoth move, back over that little sunken bridge, through that little tunnel, over the other bridge, fighting my way all back through all the brambles and nettles, all the way back to the car, kit back in the car, back round the lake to the other side, kit back out the car, back on the barrow, and then over to the swim. Like an hour later. It's a mammoth task, but had to be done. I mean, I had a choice of all this bank because everybody packed up and gone, but this is where my homework paid off. Coming early yesterday morning while it was busy, this was one of the swims that wasn't taken, so another reason for me to come in here. I know it hasn't been fished for at least several days, which means there hasn't been a load of bait put out there or a load of disturbance or even fish caught here, so there's a good chance there's already fish here because it's been a quiet area where the rest of this bank had been taken. So that was another reason I chose this area, and this is where these little things all come together and help. There's nothing worse than going in a swim that has been thrashed to death or loads of bait put in it and you don't know where it is. So I know I'm on a bit of a clean slate here, which gives me more confidence, and confidence is massive in carp fishing. Confidence is key, as they say. So we'll see what happens, but the weather conditions have changed for the better. It's looking real good, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the move pays off. But if not, I'll get up tomorrow, do the same thing, I see nothing, I'll have to kick back on the barrow and I'll move again. You can't, like I said, you can't catch fish if they're not in front of you. Effort equals reward. Keep trying, keep plodding, and then fish will come. I'll give you a little look at this swim in a minute, and a little look at the tactics and stuff that I'm going to use and the spots I've decided to fish out in this swim. But for now, I'm going to have a little bit of a rest, a cup of tea, chill out for half an hour or two, watch the water, hopefully see a fish or two. Till then, cheers guys. Right guys, I just thought I'd give you a little look at the swim I've moved to. Come down the path. It's the first swim on this path, which faces out over Meadow Lake. And we carry on. Move to a swim on Little Fjords. I did have a look round for an hour or two earlier, all round Meadow, Little Fjords, Big Fjords, but didn't really see anything. So about to go on where I think the fish will be. Another little swim just down there, face out into Meadow. I'll give you a quick look at that. See Meadow Lake out there, doing a bit of boating, yachting should I say. So if we come back up the path now, take a left turn. As I was saying, I didn't really see anything after looking around all the lake, you know, Big Fjords, Little Fjords, Meadow, so I just went on a gut feeling. Sometimes that's all you can do, but it feels right, so hopefully it will pay off for me. Now we're on Little Fjords now, and we come into the first swim on Little Fjords. This is where I am, it's my bivvy here. As we come round the front, towards the front of the swim, just give you a little look at the front of the swim. This is Little Fjords. Lovely little island out there. Well, it's a bar I think, but basically I've got two rods out on the bar and then one rod out towards the entrance between Meadow and Little Fjords. Carp angler's paradise. What a place. Well, there you are guys, that's just a little look at my swim. Go into depth a bit later on about tactics and what I'm doing here, but hopefully the move will pay off. But for now, I'll catch you guys later. Cheers guys.
Hi guys, I'll just give you a little look at my swim and the spots I've chosen in the swim and the reason behind choosing them spots. Got all them trees out there growing on a bar. It's like a little mini island. But if you come to the left of that, that bar continues to run along the lake, and at the bottom of the bar it's about 10 foot. I've only plumbed it roughly. You know, I don't tend to do that when I'm fishing a swim. I'll do it either when I'm fishing another swim or when I'm not fishing at all. I just come and plumb up accurately, but I do it roughly, or I'll do it by counting a drop, but I'll go into how you feel a lead down and drop and all that another time. But at the moment I've basically got 2 rods out there on the bar in about 5 foot of water. The top of the bar is very, very clean, and it's the shallower water I'm looking for. I'd say this time of year that's where the fish tend to be. So that's the right hand rod and the middle rod, and then the left hand rod is out towards the gap between meadow and little fjords where the fish come in and out. But I've kept it this side so they're not going over top of my line. You've got to think about line and where it's going through your swim and how it affects your other rods. So basically that won't affect the other rods. They'll come in, if they come, either come onto that bait or they'll go past it and then come round and onto the bar. Well, that's what I believe they'll do anyway. So like I said, that's kept just this side. It's out towards that gap, and that's in about 10 foot of water. I'm sort of edging my bets a little bit, but again that's another very, very clean spot. It feels like it's potentially been fed on before. So that's where I've positioned my 3 rods. Put quite a bit of bait out, because I think if they do come in here they're going to have it. A lot of boilie, a little bit of tiger nut, lots of liquids. That's it. Proper big fish food. So we'll see what tonight brings. Hopefully they will turn up. I'll have a munch. But if not, as I've said before, I'll be off on and move in again. There's no point in sitting somewhere there's no fish, just hoping they'll turn up. We'll keep trying to find them. At the moment I've kind of had to edge my bets on where I believe they'll be. It's guessing in a way, but it's an educated guess of years of experience. Fish location. Fish are creatures of habit, and by looking at all the signs you can normally narrow it down. Gut feeling as well. I just feel they're here. I mean, the swims down there have been fished all weekend. This has been left alone. So I just feel they're here. Plus the boats have been in very, very close all around this area today on meadow because of the wind is hacking in this end. I just feel that disturbance again. It's going to push them out a little bit where this has been left quiet. So we'll see. I might be totally wrong and I'll be moving again tomorrow, but hopefully. Until then, unless there's anything else to report, I'll get back to you either tonight or tomorrow morning. Cheers guys. Well guys, I got up this morning and I've moved again. Fished little fjords last night and nothing happened. It was very, very quiet. Gut feeling didn't pay off. Sometimes all you can do is go on a gut feeling, look at the weather conditions and where you believe the fish will be. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But as per normal, fish have thrown in a curveball and they're not where you think they'll be. But if we knew all the answers, it wouldn't be half as exciting, would it? So I've got up this morning, waited until bite time is over, got all the kit back in the car, had a good look around meadow, seen nothing. So back over to Big Fjords and Snake Pit, had a good look around all of there, and I've come into this swim. Within 5 minutes I've seen one poke its head out.
You might recognise the swim. It's the swim I fished last time I was here, one I managed to have a fish out of. So luckily I know all the spots already, so I can get the rods out with minimal disturbance. And you never know. Maybe it'll be a me lucky swim, but you can only go on what you see, and this is why it's so important to have your eyes peeled, to be looking at the water. You can't catch fish and not in front of you. And on these big pits, sitting and waiting, it can work, but it's not the one, I don't think. So there's 3 moves in 3 days. Last roll of the dice. Blood, sweat and tears to get over to this swim. All the brambles, nettles, covered in stinging nettles and brambles cutting me to bits. Blood running out of me by the time I got here, sweating, but like I always say, effort equals reward. And you've got to do it. It's very easy to become lazy on waters like this, and if you do that, you'll soon burn yourself out, and you'll stop enjoying it. If it does start to get you down a little bit, just take a step back, go and have a little dabble on a runs water somewhere and get your confidence back up, and come back and have another go. But you know, we all do that from time to time, I do as well, but this to me, it's well worth every fish, every capture is well earned. Proper carp fishing, and I simply love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So we're going to keep trying. I'm not going to go through my spots or anything. I did all that in this swim last time, so we'll see what happens. The weather's changed for the better. It's raining, well, drizzling. Gone a lot cooler. Very similar conditions to last time I was in here, so fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But until later on, I've got something to report. That's all from me for now, guys. Cheers, guys. Well, good morning, guys. It's the last morning now. It's about half an hour before I wind the rods in and get back on the motorway. Looks like it's a blank this time, but I've learned a lot. I can go away knowing I've done absolutely everything I can. I've put in all the effort, all that work rate. It doesn't happen every time, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and you just got to keep trying, keep plodding, and it just emphasises to me how important it is to find them fish and to get on them. If you're not on feeding fish, you can't catch them, simple as that. But I'll be back again soon, try again, try my luck. It's always going to be hard in this place, especially in summer. There's so much natural food out there. There's a little video I'll show you in a minute, just to emphasise how rich and how much food these fish have got. You don't need bait, you just got to try and do what you can, get on them fish, get the spots right, rigs right, everything right, let it all come together, and hopefully you'll put the odd fish on the bank along the way. But I'll keep trying, I'll keep sharing this journey with you guys. But until then, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure. Tight lines. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers, guys. Right guys, I'm just going to show you this now. The bank sticks have been in the water overnight, and I'm just about to pack up and move, but I just run my hand up the bank stick before I took it out of the water, and this was the result. Literally silly amounts of snails. That's just over one night. You know, less than 24 hours really. And every bit of reed, stick, twig, everything in the margin is just absolutely plastered in these. It's unbelievably super rich water, and this is why the carp grow so big and are very, very difficult to catch. Go many, many years between captures. It's just absolute paradise. And same you reel the weed in from the lake, the Canadian, and there's little baby swan mussels and shrimp and just everything. It's just absolute paradise for carp, and this is why lakes like this grow very, very, very big fish. And this is what makes lakes like this extremely difficult, meaning you have to get everything right to tempt them fish to eat your bait, because they really don't need it. Just thought it was a little bit of an interesting thing to show and share with you guys. Tight lines. Cheers guys.